Hello, hunters. I'm the Survivalist, and welcome to the Call of the Wild, the Hunter. Or the Hunter Call of the Wild. After having done Way of the Hunter, I wanted to come back to the Hunter Call of the Wild in order to kind of compare the two for what each game does better than the other, and what things could kind of be done a little differently as well. So, we're not going back to like a fully brand new game or that. I've got too much stuff I've worked at unlocking in like the skill trees and such to really want to do that. We've got perks and everything. Yeah, archery. So everything's there. I'm getting... ooh, okay, this has changed up a little bit since last I played, because before, instead of a radial wheel, yeah, so you had hotkeys or a wheel you can bring up. Okay, good to know. So yeah, we're going to probably do... We're going to play the Hunter for a while. I'm going to compare the two, as I said, which ones I prefer better. And we're going to actually do and focus on a little bit more of like the missions and story stuff for the Hunter. With having done Way of the Hunter, I feel like maybe that's a better way I probably can play again. I think one of the reasons I didn't get so interested in missions before was when it came to the Hunter Classic. Up until they had, like, the free-to-play way you would go, there wasn't really that much I think you got for, like, a reward for doing the missions for the game. Like, before it went free-to-play and you didn't have, like, the, I'm trying to think of what it would be, like, the in-game currency or, like, the PvE currency or whatever you want to call it. There wasn't really that much that was, all that interesting or a draw to using such. So I'm just going to see exactly what I want to bring out with us. I'm going to put everything back for now. Oh, you can have all kinds of different loadouts. Okay, that's new. Yeah, there's been a number of changes. It's been a while since I last played the Hunter Call of the Wild, so forgive me if I am a little slow getting used to everything all over again. Yeah, I want to keep those. I can probably keep those. I don't think I need any tents right now. I wonder if I should bring a ground blind. No, I'll leave them be for now, just as I'm trying to get my bearings and everything in order. I was like, I think we kind of skipped over playing... I'm trying to remember the order I kind of went on things. I think I actually started off first for the channel was the Hunter Call of the Wild. I played through a number of different reserves, did a few things here and there with it, but because it was also a game that I couldn't really do super long series on, it was a little harder to squeeze in for it. So what I had done instead was kind of left it to the wayside instead of like keeping forward and bringing it along. So now with the network change and such, like with having done a bit of streaming, the schedule is still pretty unsteady, which is why I haven't streamed for a couple of weeks or so. I'm just trying to get that in order again. But yeah, with streaming and being able to do longer videos, this feels like a good time to bring the Hunter Call of the Wild back. So I'm just looking to see if there's anything I want to pick up, because I do have a fair bit of funds I've saved up, but I think I'm okay with picking anything up. Maybe I'll just look for any callers that I don't have. I guess we'll take that, because that's free, apparently. Okay, that looks like the only thing I was missing. Decoys, I don't think I'll worry too much about that. Consumables, we got both of those. Yeah, I don't think I have to worry about any of that. Yeah, as you are seeing, there are... I could get a little bit of extra carrying capacity, but maybe I'll hold off. Okay, so I just want to figure out storage-wise. Okay, so one thing I was going to say I liked a fair bit, but we'll have to see first, I guess, bringing something over, because Way of the Hunter and Call of the Wild have something they do pretty differently to each other. And it's that, although both use hunting tiers, the Way of the Hunter has a much more varied and also kind of forgiving way of handling its hunting tiers for, like, weapons and such. So, you know, I think I like the Coachmate. I just don't know... I was just checking to see if there's a way to, like, say, you take one weapon over and that kind of tells you what ammo it'll need. I don't know if that's going to give me that, though. And maybe, you know what, I'll go for... Okay, that's only 60 pounds. Those are 65s. What else do I got? Maybe I'll go... Yeah, I thought there was a way when you would pick a weapon, you would get a way to be able to see, like, the ammo and such with it. But maybe I'm thinking of the Hunter Classic instead. Okay, maybe we'll go for... You know what, just get back in the feel of it. We'll take that for compound bow. So I've got rifle that. I think the 2.2 LR I may take, or maybe I should take something else that's kind of small. You know what, let me focus first on... Okay, that's 4570, so let's get some of that in. 4570. Okay, we'll take some small game point arrows. I think we want those. And I think those for the bow. For our... Actually, you know what? Maybe one thing I should look at the store is a rifle scope. Although, looks like actually, truth be told, I have everything, so that's not a problem there. Yeah, I apologize for how, like, all over this is a bit. I might take that just for a bit of fun with that, because that's... Basically, for coming back and shaking my dust and rust off, I think that'll be helpful. That's 4 to 8, that's 4 to 8. Oh, there we go, 8 to 16. That's good there. We'll get the Antler Rattler, because we'll probably be using that. Bleat Collar for sure. Moose Collar, Elk Collar. Actually, you know what? No, we shouldn't need the Antler Rattler. That's not going to work anything here. Anything else I want? I think that's probably it. So let me just try... Oh. Okay, our roller getting some stuff going off. Let me try to remember all the keybinds and such. Okay, we want that in 1, that in 2. Yeah, so there's that. We'll put just regular broadheads onto that for now. I can't put that on the Coachmate for whatever reason. Okay. We'll do that. First aid kit will go to the very back. That there. You know, let's do binoculars and that, and then we'll do our collars. Yeah, so one of the things about the game is, I was talking about, like, the hunting tiers or such. They call it classes for the Hunter Call of the Wild, but you can see at the bottom there, it says recommend classes 4 to 9. So if we go into the Codex and we go to... see, they still have it weirdly off. Like, you go into the reserves from here, and it tells you regions, stuff like that. But if you want wildlife, you don't have a way of, like, filtering out just for the ones on each reserve, which is kind of weird. But you can see here, this one has a hunting class of class 7, and actually gives you, like, a bit of equipment that you can use for it. Or if we find, like, say, the black bear, class 7, blacktail, or black buck, sorry, blacktail there is class 4. So you have a range of, each animal has its own little hunting class, but you might have weapons that will vary across a number of classes so you can use against multiple things. Whereas when it can come to Wave the Hunter, it's a lot more rigid in 4, 5, or 6. And depending on what range you're at, a tier 5 or tier 6 weapon becomes a tier 5, or tier 5 down to tier 4. It's a lot of stuff where it feels like you're more sandbox and free to hunt anything you'd like in the Hunter Call of the Wild. And Way the Hunter is more you have to plan exactly for what you're going for before you're out in the field. You have to have, like, basically one thing you're focusing on. I think they've tried changing that up a little bit with how you can access your storage from the back of the Jeeps now, but it still feels a little off there. I just want to go back into the collars and see if I have a Predator collar to slide over. I think I should have. Alright, I also want to get rid of that. I do kind of wish that you had a way of knowing, like, which rifles would go for... Oh, okay, classic lever action, that's what we're using. Okay. Maybe we'll take the buck snort, just to see if that has any use. And there's those two. Okay, so that should give us a nice variety there. Our ammo here will let us go from 4 to 9, and this will cover 2 to 7, so we should be good for any size game we're after. Maybe we'll take that off. The first aid kit we'll probably replace with something else. We'll do buck snort, the bleak collar, elk, moose, and then maybe we'll do distressed fawn. That looks like that should be everything there, so I think we should be properly set to go out now. I apologize for how long the setup kind of took. My thing was more so let's make sure everything is prepared and in order. Oh, almost. I forgot I wanted to put the sight on that. There we go. Now we're all set to go. And G is auto walk. So yeah, out of the two, on the initial release of Way of the Hunter, I did like it more and a lot of what it offered better than what Call of the Wild the Hunter has. But with playing Way of the Hunter further and how these DLCs have kind of been for it, I'm kind of lost some of my appreciation, or I don't hold it as high regard as I used to. Like, it's more so coming down to a few things that Way of the Hunter, or Call of the Wild the Hunter here has, that are just very, very helpful to have. Like, in the bottom right, you already see we have the heart rate thing. That way, if you're running or how your shot might sway if you have a high heartbeat, you have feedback for, like, how visible you are with the little... It's supposed to be an eye icon, but I guess because... Oh. Just because of how things are, we're not quite getting that right as well as we could. And there's also the little speaker and volume bars are tell you how loud you're being. So you have some feedback to know how you are... what might give you away if you're trying to get close to something. It's something Way of the Hunter, I know going for the realistic version and view of such, it probably wants to avoid stuff like that. But I feel like it's better having those there, so that way you can kind of learn where you're making your mistakes on approaches or stalks or anything like that. And so that way, if you do start picking up on, okay, I've been making too much noise, I've been going too quickly, I'm being spotted, you have much more tangible knowledge of that is what was specifically giving you away. Because when it has come to Way of the Hunter, playing on the Ranger difficulty we have been, it feels like the animals have an instant sensor range that once you hit that, I don't know if it's sight, sound, smell, what it is, but they almost immediately know to look at where you are. And because I don't know what exactly it is that's giving us away, that's made it difficult to try to get close for, like, our... trying to use archery equipment to go after stuff. And yeah, this is going to be interesting, because this is kind of like the best beginner's compound bow sights. What this basically is an electronic sight that tells you the exact range of what you're looking at down it. I don't know if it'll also provide you with, like, where you want to line the reticle up for where you want the shot connect to or not. But it really reminds me of how Way of the Hunter has done its own shooting system of sorts. Okay, I gotta remember, it's not a toggle, you gotta hold it. So what I'm probably focusing on trying to get right now is going through more of the story missions, and this one is a little bit of a tricky one. We have to photograph 2 different black bears. I'm trying to remember how I even bring out photo mode. Is it P? Oh, yeah, it is. Okay, perfect. P for photo. Nice, straightforward, and simple. We'll just try going along here. I do like how we have a nice easy wind indicator to know, like, where the wind's blowing, what direction our scent's being given away to. I just have to try and figure out where some animals are. Because we have plenty of means of being able to call them in and go after them. I'm just going to see if I can, again, try to focus on getting our No, not that. I was hoping to... Okay, I know there's a wheel here. I just don't know how I can actually bring that up. So maybe that's something in keyboard and mouse. Key bindings. Here we go. Like, is there any way to bring up the wheel? Q. No, that's not it. Okay, what? Okay, maybe Q is like going back and forth between certain things. Quick switch item. Dog command. Okay, there's a wheel in the dog commands, but... As I was going to say, the quick wheel might be nice even to have for, like, mouse and keyboard, but the thing is... I'm not even seeing that here. Headlamp, interact camera... Okay, that feels weird. I don't know if it's I'm just like oblivious to it or what's going on here, but oh, there we go, middle mouse button. That does it. Yes, no, let's go for this. Truth be told, I don't know if there are any bears actually in the area, but it might not hurt just to try getting them in. And one thing I can also do is... A nice thing about Call of the Wild, the Hunter, is that you actually have like a leveling system, so you can feel like you progress and get skills and kind of grow and increase how you are. And some of the things you can get are like special use abilities, like predict what the weather's going to be like, wind change, startle call. I think that was one I actually had before, but I don't think it's actually all as helpful as I thought it could be. Maybe if I can pick it up again, we will just try buying that. But there's also then perks where you can get stuff like for rifles. We have... Where was it? Was it handguns? Oh, here we go. Handguns. Increase accuracy when gauging distance of spotted animals. Well, it says that's supposed to be a passive perk, but the thing is, that's in green, which I thought was supposed to be like, yeah, for like zeroing stuff. Which is kind of odd. There's that one. That's more for just that. Archery doesn't really have anything for itself. Oh. Okay, let's get the moose collar and see if we can bring that in. Because truth be told, I don't know how far out that was. I don't know if we'll be able to call it in with the collar or not. Because I can't remember what the effective range of the collars is. I don't know if it actually says in the inventory for you to know, or... oh, yeah, it does actually. Oh, perfect. That's, again, something I kind of wish a little bit more... The games are weird for what details you get and what details you don't get. Way of the Hunter, there's a lot of stuff that you kind of wish you had a little bit more details about. And Call of the Wild, the Hunter, gives you details that you might not necessarily need. Like, for instance, recoil for a bow. I'm kind of surprised at how low the accuracy is for it. But yeah, now that I know that this is how we can get... Yeah, I'll try another call. Just see if we can get a reply or not. I don't know if it was too far out for it to work, or if it was within the 200-meter range. Now, Way of the Hunter, that it does offer you different difficulties, I do like for a hunting game. Because, like, if you're fresh and starting out, I could see, like, just a generic default hunting game difficulty might be a little hard to get fully in ropes with. So having the ability to, like, lower the difficulty a little bit there would be nice. Can be nice. I think that's one thing that Way of the Hunter does do, is it allows you to really fine-tune how much you want the game to fit your tastes and what your levels are at. Like, if you want a really hardcore hunting simulator where you have no HUD elements and you don't have any ways of really, like, using, like, the hunter sense at all, you can have that if you really wanted to. Whereas Call of the Wild, the Hunter has more of just like I think it's more of like a flat standard it kind of uses for itself. Like if we do look at for like settings or stuff here, yeah, it's more just like some small adjustments here or there. Oh, you know what? Let's actually turn those on so I don't have to hold them. Oh, and if you want to actually go completely free hunting with no missions ever popping up, you could too. Okay, you know what? I'm going to try going down towards where we had that call go out. I know it's been a while since we've heard it go off, but... Oh. Oh. Okay, we actually got so we've got a bear ahead of us there. Now, I don't know if it's on its own or not. But I think as long as I don't... do anything to really pressure it, it should stay where it is. And that is one thing that I don't know if Way of the Hunter really had or not, or it just didn't register. But warning calls are something that this game is both good and a bit bad for. Like, the warning calls help you easily know where animals can be and where they are. It's just that sometimes it feels like they're a little... they, like, sound a bit too often. But I think it's mostly only low-scoring animals that really give you that warning call going out to know where they are or, like, trying to send you off. But yeah, I don't know exactly where that bear is in the thick of that there. This is actually, in all honesty, this feels like a pretty poor place for a hunting stand with how some of the bush is right before us. But there are other aspects of Way of the Hunter I really like, where you have, once you use a caller, there's like an optimal duration and optimal wait time you want to use before you call again. So that way it's not just spam the call repeatedly, or it feels a little more natural to include the wait. Overall, it really does depend on just what your tastes are and what you're after for hunting experience. I would, as it stands, because of like the weird auto-sense zone that Way of the Hunter has for the animals at like the ranger difficulty we've been playing at, I'd probably say to go for the Hunter Call of the Wild first. But, with an exception to note is that every time DLC gets added, you're going to be in for big updates and like a lot of data to the game. That's one of the reasons why I actually uninstalled Call of the Wild the Hunter for a fair bit there, was every DLC, although it would only add like say maybe 1 gigabyte worth of new stuff, it would actually take up like 22 gigabytes to download it for that. It was weird how it worked. Maybe it's changed around how they do it now, but that was an issue I had with it in the past, so I'll have to see how it goes through. Another thing is that the Hunter Call of the Wild is flooded, drenched, floated to the brim with DLC options. It's nice where there's like a lot of reserves to go for and such with like the DLC, but it's also a case too of there's a lot of stuff that does feel like super minor, and you might just get like barraged by a bunch of options and such that you don't really are interested in. Like there's cosmetic weapon paints, there's weapon packs, there's I can't remember if there's clothing packs too or not. Like I know one of the things the Way of the Hunter just put out was I think like a clothing pack or something like that, and it feels like it would be better instead of stuff like that. There's just a little more attention to the game and any bugs or weird traits it has. Yeah, see, unfortunately, I don't know where that bear is. Oh! Yeah, that's another nice feature right there. Okay, so there's one right there, but It doesn't really look like it's too interested in our... Yeah, I'll probably just use the rifle for that if I can next time I see it. I did say it was just traveling, so I might not even care about sticking around the area. But yeah, that's a nice little thing is as you see an animal, you can spot it and you get the outline for a little bit there. Although it can be a little weird too, because you get the option and you don't even see the animal anymore. There you are. Oh, that actually might have been the two of them together. Oh, I should have been more patient, because I could have had the, that photo challenge that we have active right now completed there. Okay, well, we see her running off. Yeah, it said she was just a minor or whatever. So, the two, that number... Okay, well, my head will probably be in the top left. So you have traveling, that's 7 with the little bear icon means like the weapon class, but the 2- minor usually refers to like the trophy score, or like how good the animal is score-wise, or point-wise. So I think it goes like, I think diamond is 9? I'm not 100% sure on that. Oh, but it looks like we got him right there. Yeah, so when it comes to the rifles and that, I feel like my skills... Even if I haven't played for a while, you kind of get a good idea of where the general animal placement, or sorry, where the shot placement is on each animal pretty well and reliably. Yeah, I wish I knew there was a female coming in here, as then I could have gotten these two together, and that would have been that mission I've talked about getting done, finished. Oh, looks like... Okay, this has been changed up a little bit. Because, like... Yeah, see, now we have... Oh, I actually got a heart shot with that. So it says the difficulty was a 5- medium, so it wasn't like the hardest to get. And then a few things right there. We get a little percentage here of what we did. Yeah, taxidermize, I don't think I'll worry too much about. As it was only a silver. They do go up, I think diamond is... Yeah, here we go. Trophy rating is right there. Silver, gold, and diamond are the highest it goes. We got a bunch of harvest checks, so... Yeah, we don't really care about that. We'll just get that done. And maybe see if we can try and figure out where... she ran off to. But everything going across the top there, you get an experience thing that goes to help you level up. The rifle score, I believe, is like, weapon experience. So as you, like, focus on each weapon, you'll slowly level those up, and when you go to, like, the perk trees, that's then where you can see, getting, like, different level ups to help you on specific weapon types. So yeah, she'll probably be spooked for a while. That is one thing that the animal behavior, I think, can feel a little more realistic in the Hunter called Wild. Because you'll have, once an animal does get spooked and run off, even after it, like, comes to a little bit of a slow and a stop, I think the animal's still, like, in a bit of an alert state. So it'll still be kind of cautious about, like, anything else that might set it off and more aware. Whereas, Way of the Hunter, it felt like once the animals kind of ran to the point they stopped running and just, like, walking again, they are completely blank slates again. You don't have to worry about them still being on edge. One things, though, about Way of the Hunter I did like was that you did have more of a variety of movement speeds you could actually set for yourself. Like, you have the standard in Called Wild here, crouch, prone, I should say, like, Now, I'm trying to remember, how do you go prone? There we go, Z. Yeah, so you have, like, Z, you can go prone at this pace, you can crawl at, or you can crouch walk like this, and then you have your standard walk, and then you also have the, sprint run. Well, I guess more just sprint, not run. Whereas Way of the Hunter, you had different settings you kind of toggle in each stance as well to help for your speed. Like, you had a crouch, but then I think you had a fast crouch, you had a prone and a slow prone, and a walk and a slow walk. So, like, say you are trying to keep your head up and watch what's going on, you could toggle a slow walk and try moving slower. It's just that, again, stuff like that is where I really, really think you would have had the benefit of, like, some means in the bottom right to know what you were kind of... how aware you were in the environment, or, like, how you kind of stood out in the environment and such. Now, I'm hoping maybe we can find this black bear and she'll be trying to join up with a second one for the goal we've got. But if you have played either Way of the Hunter or called Wild the Hunter and you're thinking of the other title or other hunting games, thankfully they all kind of have a same sort of framework to them. So it's not like you're going to be caught too far off for how each plays. The only thing you might want to try minding is what each keybinds are, because I think the hold breath is different for the games. I can't remember if to hold breath in Way of the Hunter is shift or it's space. I think it might be shift, because I think space might actually stand you up in Way of the Hunter, and I had made a few mistakes like that when I was actually playing in the series. I can't remember for sure. But another reason why I do like Call of the Wild, the Hunter's like feedback to know like how perceptible are you, is because that also lets you know for sure what things are having more an effect on like your environment. Like, if we're hiding in the tree here, you actually have a benefit that you're harder to see. You actually tangibly know that's the case, instead of just a guess at it. And if you're walking through bush, do you make more noise or less noise, or things like that. So you kind of get an idea of, okay, if I'm trying to, like, stay hidden for an ambush, or I'm trying to stalk or something, I have better ways of doing so. I will admit, though, I prefer Way of the Hunter's tracking system where, like, as we found, like, say, a wounded animal, you have the blood trail and you can actually see exactly where each footstep almost was for along the way. Whereas, I don't really like the node and cone system that Hunter uses. Again, I do wish it's probably too resource intensive. Oh, excuse me. It's probably too resource intensive to have the pair join together where it's every animal you get to see all the tracks from it actively. Or like if there's a way to toggle on, you want to track this specific animal, you see the exact trail it's left behind in the grass or ground or that. Yep. Okay, that... Oh, yeah. I thought she'd come after me. Oh, Lord. Yeah, so, as you can see, that is almost exactly like how, Way the Hunter has it, where you'll line up the crosshairs, but I can press a little button, and it shows me the green of where I should be aiming. I am just going to quickly use the, where is it? Okay, I guess I gotta put it on like that. Yeah, so I'm just going to heal myself up from the little encounter we had there. Yeah, no organs hit, so she's going to go for quite a while. We're going to follow up, just, again, get our bearings a little bit more with back to the game, show off how it is. It's probably going to take a weekend or two before I'm, like, fully back to... Oh, this is actually another thing, is you get to see, like, how the full health of the animal is, too. So that can help you know, like, okay, how long of a track do I have ahead of ourselves? And in this case, it's probably going to be a very long one. Actually, it's probably safer to say that she's... Well, I doubt she would go down from this shot. It was non-vital, and eventually arrows, I think, have a higher chance of making the animal bleed out if they do run off with, like, hit. But, I mean, the hunting ethics of it is always want to try to stop what... any suffering or excess suffering that's needed. But yeah, one thing is, unlike... What happened was I pressed shift as, like, I was trying to speed up our crouch walk a bit, kind of like how you can in Way the Hunter, but you only got the one speed and have to remember that, because if you go shift at... I think even if I try shifting when I'm in prone, they'll send me straight up and... Yeah, it sends you basically straight up to your feet. So I need to remember that. But yeah, with this just being a female black bear as well, and given it was just like a minor rating for her, she shouldn't be too hard to track down and get a follow-up shot on to just put her down. One thing, though, is probably because of the bit of movement I did have after she charged me, is that she might be a further ways off. One thing to try to remember after any encounter with the animals is to try not to move all that much, or try not to trigger them to be feeling like they're being chased. Basically, take your shot, let whatever has happened from it happen, and then give it a moment or two before you start following up after. Because all you might be doing is sending the animal further off and making it a harder track for yourself. As much as there's the anticipation to want to go right after and thinking it'll be down in just a moment or two, it's far better to be a little bit more slower and patient before proceeding. Which, I mean, granted, is kind of the opposite of what I've done. But we'll just see how it plays out. Another thing I did like, too, was you saw how close we could get to her. And that's because we are going slow in minding our... how much noise we're making, how visible we were. Even once we'd gotten all the way close and accidentally sprinted up and then ducked right down again, it wasn't like an instant flee or that. The animals take a moment to think and process, like, okay, well, what's going on there? How wary do I have to be, etc. I know some people might not like that, but I think it varies on, like, also the difficulty of the animal, too. Like, a higher rated or better scoring animal would probably be more likely to just flee instantly, whereas a low scoring one, you might be able to make these mistakes, but you still have some forgiveness of it's not going to flee on you, or might not flee right away. Yeah, I do have to be a little bit cautious of how quickly I move through here, because, like, prime example is I'm rather well hidden, but because we're going through bush, we make a lot of noise. And you can see that in the speaker to the bottom right there. The bars go up, and if they go in red coloration, that means you're making a lot of noise. Oh! We got Coyote up there. I'm kind of surprised it says it's only a Class 2. I thought they were maybe a Class 3. Okay, well, hopefully so I don't get too far behind. Yeah, because okay, it looks like she... No, that says very old, so I'm wondering if this is actually a completely wrong track I'm on. Or if this might actually be around where I found her with that male before. Oh, you know what? That could be the case. Again, because you don't get to see the full trail of knowing how the animal's gone, you can get screw-ups happening where you actually chase an old trail compared to the fresh one. So I think that's exactly what's happened here, is I'm on a very old trail of hers. And this is back around... It might be kind of close to where she was going, and then the male and our calls got her lured in. Yeah, because, see, it's... Maybe we're on the right path? I'm not entirely sure. Like, I don't know if this is just how we've connected all the dots, or this is, like, the actual path she's been traveling on. Because I didn't think I would come across, very old droppings for, like, being on her tail as we were. Okay, so that connects to there. Yes, he's kind of like a fill in the dots, but... And that's... Okay, you know what? I'm going to walk back up towards where we've gotten that first wound in on her. I know this is a bit of a cluster F of a first episode for Call of the Wild Hunter, but it is getting me a little bit back into the bearings and everything. Thankfully, I'm already feeling like, as much as I've made some mistakes, I'm not too badly off for it. And it should just be a little bit more time and exposure again, and everything should be going much more smoothly for next episode. I would still just like to try to find her, take the shot to put her down, and then carry on to go after something else. Yes, this is the trail I followed her up and in on. So I just need to try to figure out where the trail is for... where she came out of here from. Like, I think it might actually be this right here. Oh, yeah, it definitely is, because here's blood. Okay. Yeah, got sidetracked going... Took a left instead of a right like I should have, so now we should be able to follow up on this much better. Likely it's going to be a while before I'll catch up to wherever she's gone off to, but... You can see in the top right now, when I come across the blood, it does say... It's gone down to 50 to 75%, so... It is taking... the shot we took on her, though it's probably not lethal, it is having an effect. Although now I've got all kinds of weirdness going on with the tracks. Here we go. Okay, yeah, so more than likely she was coming about right here, and I scared her off with approaching. I said this was a run. Oh, actually going down more in health. Yeah, still a run from here. Truthfully, this was a pretty bad area to try tracking in. We'll see about trying to find her, because if, from the look of the blood trail, I don't know if we will find her and she's bled out, or she'll just have a little bit of health left in her. But yeah, I'm definitely got to shake off a bit of rust and probably some bad habits from Prehistoric Hunt, given how it doesn't really matter too much for how well your stealth is in that game. Again, as much as I do like Prehistoric Hunt for being a dinosaur hunting game, it's still got a pretty crude grasp of like hunting tactics to itself compared to full hunting games. That's one thing I do think the game needs a lot more polish in that direction on, but I could see them wanting first to make sure there's a nice amount of content and variety to keep people interested with new stuff rather than just tweaks to numbers and values and such. Because let's face it, the big draw is definitely seeing new dinosaurs, not so much you hear things like the AI is better. I know that was for like the latest return I did for Prehistoric Hunt. That was the big draw for me was, oh, they did some improvements to the AI. I want to check them out and see how they're holding up. Okay, now that's saying very old, so I don't know if she just ran by here a long time ago, or I did scare her off, because I thought for like finding droppings that say very old, it wouldn't be this long ago. Okay, just a little bit of dark patch in the reeds there. Yeah, still says she's in a run. I've got a lot more tracks there. What is this saying for the blood? Still 25 to 50, so I don't know if she will bleed out from that or not. It might come down to a point where it's just going to, like, stop at. But we'll still do our due diligence. I mean, one nice thing is knowing that basically, when you wound an animal in Way of the Hunter, and it's not a lethal shot, there's no real point trying to follow up and track it down. You might as well just go back to a lodge, campsite, whatever, pass, even if it's maybe just an hour, then go back to where you saw it, and maybe you would get the animal. Call of the Wild, the Hunter is a little bit better, where if you really want to, you can try tracking down and putting down a wounded animal better. Still in a run. I don't know if that's because, again, I've been standing up to try following, or it has to be, because I can't see her running this far off if we didn't put any pressure on her. So hopefully if I do keep a little low and slow, we'll be able to spot her in a while. I think what we really need to do is find tracks that say she's gone back to just a walk. Yeah, so we got some tracks there. Oh, another bit of blood. Now I thought that was 0.25, so she's going down to the last quarter. I thought there was a bear right there. That's just the way the textures were for that patch of grass. So yeah, I was hoping we would have been able to give her a bit of a faster end than this, but I think it might just go to the point where she'll go and drop. Now, truth be told, if she's anywhere in here, we're not going to be able to see her for a good shot anyway. As it is getting thick for foliage. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, very low. Okay, there's tracks right there. Again, I don't know how close or far we are, and I don't want to keep pressuring her just to keep extending this further and further, so we'll just try to get her down, and then we'll end this first episode. And then just go for whatever we come across. Because, like, again, this first weekend is just getting a little bit of bearings back for how the games play differently. Some comments here and there about what I like about which game better, what things like to see differently done. Little bits and things like that. I do have to be mindful of the wind direction in the bottom there. As that isn't... Again, I just like a lot of feedback to know for stuff that you don't really have good awareness of when it comes to a digital format compared to, like, if you were actually physically doing stuff. Like, how much noise are you making as you're walking through the bush and that? Which way is the wind blowing, and which way was your scent be carried? You'd have better ideas of that standing literally in a field and that. Whether Way of the Hunter... Now, I can understand if Way of the Hunter doesn't want to add those, like, because they do make the game easier, but I feel like there's something that could easily be toggled on and off with different difficulties or options. So say if you don't want that, you can have those disabled, but if you do want to have those options present, you can flick them on to help you out. I think it's better to have things added as an option than just not included at all. And then again, you can tie it to different difficulties, like say your easy and normal mode, they have those enabled, but as you get harder, more things get turned off to make more of a challenge present. There's actually one other feature that I don't know if... I'm pretty sure none of the hunting games, like, hard-focused ones, like, say, the Hunter or Way of the Hunter use. And it's actually something to... Oh, I think that's her... Yeah, that's her right there. We're just going to walk to grab her. I'll talk about it next episode, because it's one that I think could help a fair bit for beginner hunters or new players. But further in... Oh, Lord. Okay, you know what? I wasn't expecting to come across the, bull moose. But that... Oh, no, I can't... Okay, so I'll have to use my, rifle for it. I grabbed the wrong arrow type for the compound bow. Okay, there's a cow right there. Okay, there was a 4 in with them though. So yeah, that bear actually led me right to a small herd of moose. I think they might have gotten scared off. No, maybe not. It's just that I have no idea of knowing what is what because of all the bush here. Like, yeah, there's... Oh! Okay, there are the 2 females. Oh, make that 3. Okay, see, there's you, but you're not who I've been looking for. There was supposed to be... You know what? I might as well try taking him. Okay, that should be at least a lung shot. Yeah, I've got to get a little bit better for... So I got... Oh yeah, that's definitely a lung shot. That's vital organ hit, so that'll go off. I'm just going to collect the bear. Oh, God. Or should I just go and collect the moose, too, since it's probably going to go down from that hit? Oh, see... I was hoping maybe I could have gotten the lungs, but no, I got her head, so that explains that. We'll take that. And we'll quickly follow up on this moose, because that should be a lung shot, would be my guess. And it says a medium bleed rate, so it's probably going to go down just like a couple of moments. We'll have to fast travel back to another outpost in order to get the proper arrows for the compound bow. I kind of hope that's something they'll eventually do to help with knowing what things go with what weapons. It's like a better way of easily filtering through the menus and such, and like through your storage. Like, truth be told, with Way of the Hunter having it so that way you didn't have to worry about buying ammo, and you just had like an automatic refill and a certain cap size to it, I think that worked really well. I think more so the ammo count comes from the predecessor to Call of the Wild, the Hunter Classic, where it was you had to buy ammo, and that was kind of like a microtransaction way of having players keep playing. But yeah, there's a moose down, so our first day back wasn't too bad for hunting-wise. A black bear, or a couple black bears, moose, yeah, right in the... No, a little bit more forward, and I could have gotten the heart, probably put him right down, but not too bad. So yeah, we'll accept that. A little bit there. I also feel like the cash reward might have gone up for each animal hunted. Because, like, that was plus 800 for the moose, and I thought it was a little more grindy you would have to be for trying to get stuff. So maybe what I'll do is we'll head to Leighton Lowe's. And then we'll end the episode here for today and then continue next episode. Again, I'm going to try to focus more for getting the actual story mission I talked about wanting to tackle first done this next episode. But yeah, again, this was a bit of a rough return to form. Shake off a little bit of dust, dirt, and get our skills a little bit honed again. But for now, we are good to end the episode right here. So thank you all very much for joining me on this episode of The Hunter, Call of the Wild. If you did like the video, be sure to give it a like. And if you have any comments, tips, or tricks, be sure in the comments right down below. Until I see you all next video episode, Hunters and Survivors, please remember, as always, to take care, stay alive, and happy hunting.